Hello, hello. Oh,
that was
thank you very much. Lovely to see you all. And so basically, oh, there's a presentation. I did a presentation, yeah. So I'll be running around a little bit so that you see someone more dynamic, because the slides are not really dynamic, so I'm going to do that. So the idea of the slide deck is to give you a short summary of an extended paper that I wrote. And this extended paper, of course, can be downloaded from the Institute website. So it is under the same name, more or less, but it's within the last European Cyber Journal. There's over 30 pages of really good content from my perspective, but of course I'm biased. And there you have the possibility to go all into the details. So I'm just trying to give you a little bit of highlights. So let's start with why rethink cybersecurity in the first place. So just looking at the numbers, in 2023, we globally spent over $188 billion investing in cybersecurity, right? For 2024 and 2025, this is always supposed to rise about 10%. So we are reaching $200 billion invested into cybersecurity. But still, we have all the issues that were just mentioned. So we kind of need to rethink the whole thing a little bit. And one of the things that the panel pointed out brilliantly as well is that we are on a heavy reliance on tech from China and software from the US. And this reliance doesn't do us any good currently, in my understanding. So what I want to convey a little bit to you is what are, from my perspective, things that we need to do. So a dynamic cybersecurity ecosystem driven by AI, of course. I mean, you can't actually put a slide deck on without mentioning AI at least once, right? So here we go, tick in the box. I already mentioned AI on the first slides. But for me, one of the really interesting things is, let's consider what we did with GDPR and this kind of things. We put the human first, and we do that. Afterwards, we're going to have a little panel discussion. We also do that with AI. So behavior engineering and human-centric approaches should be at the top of our developments. It should be, you know, every time you want to put forward a new product or anything, ask a behavioral scientist if that actually helps the people to deal with cybersecurity challenges. Then, of course, some shared responsibilities and decentralized cross-border funds, this kind of things. I'll go a little bit into this kind of things as well. But also, I think we are in Europe greatly positioned to say that we can put the human first. We can do that in a way that we have a societal growth. We can do that in a way that we can actually build societal contracts on digital cybersecurity as well. So I think there's a huge gain to be done when we develop something in Europe. We don't need to focus money first. We can actually focus people and people resilience first. All right. This is a little bit, does anyone know this Simpsons meme where there's this old man yelling at the cloud? So this slide is me, old man, yelling at the clouds, right? What I want to tell you with this slide is we are rehashing all security insights over and over again without coming up with new solutions. So this is a little bit an urge to you guys. Stop rehashing old security memes. It doesn't really advance us if we talk about the same thing over and over again. So let's look at a couple of them. Yeah, regulatory challenges. If a consultant comes to you and talks about regulatory challenges, thank you, I put the words in myself, so a trap for myself, but it doesn't come up with something new. Supply chain, yes, we know it's complicated, but rephrasing it a couple of million times does not improve the situation at all. Then, again, AI, it needs to be up there. Stop talking about if AI is good or bad. It doesn't really matter, right? Because AI is here and AI is here to stay. So let's think of solutions and not if AI is good or bad. It doesn't help us whatsoever. Then the skill gap. Yes, we know that we are looking for people, but reminding us over and over again that we have a skill gap doesn't advance us whatsoever. So let's not rehash this kind of thing. And then one of the last two are also quite important. Cybercrime. Guess what? This year we will have a record number of new vulnerabilities. Guess what will happen next year? We will have a record number of new vulnerabilities. What's the insight here? I mean, that's lame journalism in my perspective, actually. And awareness, yes, awareness is not just a checkbox. It needs to be something active. It needs to be something modern. It needs to be something that actually captures the mind. But always saying like, oh, awareness should not be done as a checkbox exercise doesn't advance us anymore. So that was me, old man, yelling at the crowd. Sorry for that. What I think is really important is integrate much more psychology into our products and into our daily life and how we approach this kind of things. We are having so much complexity within cybersecurity. We need to reduce that and make that livable for the people so that they can actually put that forward. And the previous panel pointed it out brilliantly. We need, in Europe, we need a growth mindset, right? Not like, oh, we're lagging behind China or we're lagging behind the US. We need a growth mindset and say, where do we want to be? Again, user-centered design is for me quite of an important topic again, because we share within 27 states, we share a common understanding that the person is really important, that GDPR is really important. So let's make that our strength, not our weakness. Good. Reducing dependency. I already talked about that, so I'm going to skip that one. So what are my transformative ideas that they are working on an organizational but also on a society level, right? So we kind of need to do something about that. So what we need is, with an ever-evolving threat landscape, we need a dynamic cyber ecosystem to counteract those challenges, right? We can't be static anymore. That doesn't work anymore in 2025. And hopefully I will not be screaming the same thing next year. Next thing, shared responsibility. If we have a skill gap, if we have issues finding new people, why don't we collaborate with different organizations? Why don't we build up people in different organizations and exchange those people? They are dearly needed. So let's move on from, oh, this is just me and I need to take care of my needs, but move on to a concept where we say we need to collaborate. Decentralized security, I find it highly interesting. So if we look at concepts like secure multi-party computation, imagine that, right? So hospitals can share without revealing too much about the person. They can share with these concepts valuable information about the human body, about the human condition. And this is for me a fantastic concept. So you have operations on encrypted data without sharing them. That's fantastic. So we should definitely go into a decentralized security theme. Next thing, innovative infrastructure. So one of my key points is, for example, building up a single European cybersecurity bandbox where all these lovely vendors here can participate, right? They can test something, and we can test that through Europe, right? We have a secured playground where everyone can play, can file fast, and can do that. One of the other topics that I'm really hopeful about is specialized hubs, right? If we want to advance within Europe, and we all do the same thing, we will only advance at the same speed. But if we distribute certain topics to different security hubs, we will increase the speed dramatically, right? So if we look at things like AI, quantum, IoT, or this kind of things, and every big security hub is taking care of one topic, we will speed up dramatically. And this speed up is, from my perspective, needed quite dramatically. Behavioral engineering, I kind of think this is one of Europe's strengths, to go into, say, like, how can we put the human first? How can we do something in that perspective? How can we value his privacy? How can we value that person? And I think this should be within behavioral engineering. So if you release a new product, get a scientist who's really fit in behavioral engineering to make it really a great product that is used automatically by everyone. Cross-border collaboration, one of my kind of thinking is like, we need to allow startups to grow fast, even to fail fast, right? But we need to do that on a European level, and that's why I love to work with institutes like this or with the ECSO community, because the European alliance is in my perspective, the way forward. Society is, for me, really important to take the society with us, and there's certain things like we can think of an economic incentives, right? Every country in Europe is looking at their GDP. Why don't we have a security GDP that the country is also looking at? Right? This would sparkle competition and would bring things forward rather fast and dramatically. So I'm going to skip the implementation road. Please download the journal. There's other 5 colleagues who put brilliant topics forward. So please download the paper in completeness and reach out to me, speak about it, and speak to me about it. I'm happy to discuss those topics further. So to make it a recap, moving from reaction to proactive, make it human-centric, make it a societal approach. We will have then really key tenets where we have cybersecurity as a public good. We can unite stakeholders. Look at this conference. This is one of the proofs of this kind of things. And then we can establish a trust digital service where we say, yes, this is a proud product about cybersecurity from Europe. Just think about the CE sticker. Do you remember the CE sticker, which is on nearly every electronic device? We should go to that point where we as cybersecurity professionals have the same sticker. So, and with that, and with anticipation to the panel, I thank you very much. Please download the paper, please reach out, and please let's keep the conversation going. Thank you very much.